Hello, Divine Family. Hope everyone's doing well. I just wanted to come on and say hi. I'm at home. Normally, I would go walk to the park, but it's a little chilly for me today, so I'm just at home. Um, what do I want to say? There's so many different things I want to touch on, but I don't want to make a video long. So, I've talked about in the past, if anybody remembers, about the different timelines you could choose to be on, and how, you have Homo luminous, which is your angelic self, Homo divinicus, which is your divine avatar self, and Homo galacticus, which is being on the galactic timeline, which is the one I chose, obviously. Um, but getting into that has proved to be not what I expected. I'll just say that. I've had so many questions, so much confusion, just trying to understand what in the hell is really happening. Because when I first, I've been at this at 6 years now so far, like full on since my awakening. So I spent most of my time, in the stars and the cosmos and stuff like that and connecting dots there. And I'm now getting more into my ancestors and the roots and ancestry and working with them a lot more. You got to go up and down, basically, because it's all interconnected. But I've been just really angry about a lot of things with this Galactic Federation and things that I'm finding out. And when I first had my awakening, it was said to me that they're all counting on us to work it out here in this realm, that they're already unified amongst themselves. But that's not what I'm seeing. It seems like they're counting on us to work it out down here because they're divided up in there. Let's say it like that. So I think we're the ones that need to be more mature in that sense, and the fact that they've taken away our knowledge of who we were, and erasing our identity and keeping us asleep. That's really the disclosure, is finding out who you are. And then when you start finding out who you are, then you start finding out who you have an allegiance to, or what would be your dominant frequency, I'll say. um and then you start to kind of work it out from there, because that's like the path of the star seed, right? Like we're here to transmute these things in our DNA and transcend. um and it's not in the way that people think. People think it's all light and love, and on one end of the spectrum, but it's deeper than that. It's deeper. Like, okay, so my thing is, like, how are you gonna be all like light and love and then hate reptilians? And I'm coming out about that because I've been quiet about a lot of it, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel triggered when I hear people talking shit about the reptilians and blaming them for everything, but then look at the fucking human beings on the planet and what are they doing? So, I mean, I think there's enough finger pointing that can go around, and then you start to understand we have their DNA anyway. So if you hate them, you hate yourself. So I'm just gonna say it like that. So I've been having like strong desires to want to come out and say something, whilst understanding that within myself, and learning different parts and aspects of myself that I probably wouldn't have learned if I stayed closed-minded and closed-hearted in that way. And I'm actually more excited to learn some of these things. And I've been studying more about the Nagas, the reptilians, the different races, the lineages, finding out about Mother Huber, just so many different things. And I could just go and go and go. And it's like, I love the position I'm in. I love that I have a supportive husband, and I'm free in that way to take time to explore in my inner world and do some research and figure things out. Because the more I learn about myself, the more I learn about everyone else, right? Because we're all one. Um, and it's easier to understand and have less judgments that way. So, there's that. And like, so my internet's been messed up too, which I could care less about the internet and all that stuff. But my son, when he was still here, the game, gotta have the internet, oh my god. And then, my husband's kind of the same way, man. I call it his Geminiism, man. He's just so gotta be in the know and chatty and just, ugh, he's a lot. But I'm like, so while it's been down, I had to order another router, and all of a sudden we're like listening to classical music and like NPR, and I'm like, who the fuck am I right now? Who are we? Like, what is what are we doing? Like, it's funny, but it's like just a couple of days, opening up the channels and creative flow just from being disconnected for a while. I seen it as a gift and an opportunity. And then, all of a sudden, he starts painting again. And I'm like, wow, look at you, gee. Remove a little distraction, and all of a sudden someone's creative again. This is a person that paints me stuff like this. I told him to paint me in my likeness, and that's what he painted. I'm joking. I told him to paint that, but same potato. But this man, he's so talented, but he's again with the distractions and this and that. Whatever. I let him go. I'm not here to control him or anybody. I love him the way he is, and we all move at our own time. And I just, it's acceptance. So, but I'm like, you're wasting potential and you're wasting time. I try not to be too pushy because I realize sometimes I'm hard and I can be hard. I don't, when it comes to like people being weak around me, it's just not existent. I won't let you. This is another reason why I don't come outside. They're always like working and doing stuff, and it's a distraction. So I apologize if you hear the noise, but yeah, it's just like, I tell them all the time, I'm like, all this time wasted on just what? The world and the drama? Like, who gives a shit already? Like, I honestly truly don't give a shit. I love being a mystic. I wouldn't trade what I do for all the gold and riches in the world. I fucking just love it, man. All the visions, the experiences, the exploration. I'm very much in my divine child, okay? And I'm having fun. Even when it seems like the people I'm not, but they don't understand and they don't need to understand. But I just love it. But he's not that much involved. He's more in the outer world still, more than I prefer. I'm trying to get him to be more in his inner world, and he is. And I mean, just these couple of days proved it. We make joy out of everything. There is no sad sacking around me. I used to have Nerf guns. I'll pull out the Nerf guns and just start shooting your ass, shooting the cats, pranking you, fucking, like, we're gonna have fun. It ain't gonna be like, do, what do we do, or this sucks. That ain't my type of time. I don't roll like that. Like, I'm gonna find fun or something out of everything. Anything I can do. Even if it's coming outside playing with the animals. These two are already running out playing. I don't know where she went. They went under the porch. But, yeah. So, I'm never bored. I'm never, like, lonely. Even when I am alone, I've got so much to entertain myself with, and it's like that's when all the best insights come, my funniest jokes come, me just being silly for no reason, because everybody be too serious about stuff sometimes I just, like, I'm not being an asshole to be mean, but it's more like being an asshole with love. Like, that's my love language. I like to bust your balls and bust your chops a little bit to get us to see how funny we are. It doesn't have to be that deep. But, not everybody has a sense of humor or whatever. If you want to hang on to all your density and pain, more power to you. It's yours. It's your free will. But, fuck that shit. So, if there's anything I want to say today, I just wanted to suggest to people, like, take more time off the internet. Disconnect for a while. Get off of all these distractions. Get in your inner world. meditate, sit in some of your chakras and find out which ones aren't in alignment. You know, when you meditate on your chakras, you're opening different portals and different experiences. And I like to tell people, like, people don't even understand when they timeline jump or they shift, you know, because everything in the physical will look the same. The houses, the people, the environment will look the same. But sometimes when you wake up and you timeline jump, you can feel the shift immediately. You know something's different. Sometimes I wake up like, oh man, what reality did I just fucking wake up into now? Because I already know something's different. I can already feel it. And I can tell by the different experiences I'm having with the same people, but just different. So, you know, you start becoming aware of when your timeline shifting. Because these things we're already doing, all this manifesting, creating our reality, timeline jumping, we're doing that all the time anyway. It's just not being aware of it. The key and the gift is becoming aware of it and start noticing it. And the more you notice it and acknowledge it, and then you feel it, and then you resonate with it, and and you build upon that. So, you know, spend time activating more of your psychic gifts and figure out which one is your stronger suit. Are you a seer? Are you a hearer? Do you taste? Do you feel? Do you sense? You know, get with yourself, get with your body. You know, let's see what our bodies are capable of. Let's see what we could do with our light bodies. Let's see what we could do with our consciousness. Let's see. You know, that's where you're putting your attention, right? But or you could put your attention on a bunch of bullshit that doesn't matter, that's never going to change the way you want it to change, or da-da-da-da, and all that diarrhea. How you can have fun with that garbage. Or you could tap in with yourself and see, you know, what you could do, what creative ideas come your way, or, you know, things that you need to reflect upon yourself yet. You know, some of the experiences of your past, start drawing conclusions, start connecting the dots on your own. I'm telling you, these are the things. This is how you start operating your own system. Yeah, right? Like, you know, I have to wear glasses, and I'm starting to notice, like, even when I put my glasses on, it's kind of like putting too, how do I want to say it? I think when I have my glasses off, it may look fuzzy and it may seem like I can't see, but sometimes I think I can see better with my glasses off, meaning I can sense and see the energies where we think we're blind or it's fuzzy and I can't see. If you start to learn how to like relax your eyes and stuff, you start seeing things in a different way. So I've been practicing that. I've been noticing sometimes when I stare at the walls, they vibrate. And I'm like, ooh, the walls are vibrating because, you know, everything's alive. So then I'll just like stare at it for a very, very long time and visualize me being able to see through it and stuff like that. What else? Dream interpretation. I love exploring other people's dreams, talking about your dreams, like just all that mystical stuff, man. I love it, man. Like, I'm always just in my imagination. That's where I live. Just, you know, whatever. But that's pretty much just what I wanted to come on and say for now. I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope there's a bunch of abundance, prosperity, joy. If not, it's already there. You just have to want it. You have to choose it. And everything is already here. It's your choice what you want to experience, how you want to experience it, whatever. There is no judgment. That's like the greatest liberation. And that's another thing too. I know a lot of people don't understand me, but sometimes in the way I operate, I have a very unorthodox way in educating and stuff like that. But it's like I'm trying to tap into some of your trickster energy or your mischievous energy, because it's there, and a lot of people hide that part of themselves. Like, who cares? Love and light, whatever. Like, come on, let's play, let's have some fun. I'm here to love life free, honey. Be exactly who you are in your nature. If it's in your nature to be a fucking asshole, be an asshole for joy. If you know what I mean? Like, can't nobody, if you're being real and authentic in who you are, if people hate you for that, then oh well, then you know who's down with you and who's not. Like, but it takes way more energy to put on a mask. watching some people's videos and they're like, trigger warning, or I'm sorry if, or, you know, my bad that, and I didn't mean. I'm like, do you hear how much you're explaining yourself away? Fuck up. Why are you fucking apologizing? Either they're gonna fucking watch it or they're not. Quit trying to suck everybody's asshole. That's like the biggest liberation. That's why I don't give a fuck about money or none of that shit. I don't have the desire to suck anyone's asshole all goddamn day to make a fucking dollar, okay? It's just not that worth it to me. It seems like it's more energy to make you happy and appease you because I want that almighty dollar. Well, you can have that shit. You know, I'm telling you, when you desire nothing, that's what they fear. Because when you desire nothing, they have nothing to control. So I'm going to just leave you all with that. I love everyone. I wish you much peace, joy, and abundance.